They all ran through the Pentagon as part of centralizing propaganda and ensuring support for the war, as well as working with international partners in Europe and around the world. That relationship maintained itself during the Cold War. It greatly expanded, actually, as the State Department and what's now the U.S. Agency for Global Media, but at the time it was CI proprietary media organizations like Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, Voice of America, Radio Free Asia. You had things like Project Mockingbird, where you had the CIA explicitly placing stringers and editors on almost all of the major distribution newspapers, not just in the United States, but all over the world. State departments focus on funding so-called independent media outlets all over the world. So even if they weren't CI proprietaries, they would be effectively on U.S. government payroll. That exploded after the 1960s with USAID being formed, and this idea that providing funding for media outlets is part of the humanitarian work of ensuring free speech around the world. That would come to be quite ironic when USAID would champion internet censorship after too much free speech ended up losing elections. It's a huge part of it. I mean, a third of the CI's budget in the 20th century went to media. And then it's a huge amount. The world is moving from this kind of military occupation imperial model to a soft power influence model where everything moves through democracy. That is the vote of the people. And in that world, the desire for empire has not gone down at all. The demand for political vassalage control is still there, but now you can't use guns and napalm and tanks and tens of thousands of casualties in every country in order to enforce that. So how do you do it? Well, now the new battlefield becomes hearts and minds and influencing the electorate in every country to make sure that they vote the way the U.S. State Department wants them to vote. And so that is why you have this coterie of government agencies around the State Department, from the CIA to USAID to the U.S. Agency for Global Media to even things like the World Bank, the IMF, Export-Import Bank, the Development Finance Corporation, who all put their levers on the various media institutions. The more funding, the more control we would have over the hearts and minds, the more control we would have over their elections, over their elected leaders to go forward with a trade agreement or allow an American oil company or mining company to operate profitably in the region. And so everything is downstream of that, influencing union groups or universities or members of the military in a country is all downstream of having this base of favorability in terms of hearts and minds.